Hey, woman, what's up?
Nothing much. What's up with you?
Um, let's see. Siri seems to be active today, so I need to turn it down.
Apparently. I like your pearls.
Oh, thank you. How do I
Very
look?
stylish.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's like a Republican senator's wife, kind of stylish.
Really?
A little bit.
Oh,
But you got the t-shirt, so it keeps it like a casual, cool wife, you know?
well, that's cool. If that's what it's going to do to trick people out that I'm a Republican, you should see my yard signs.
Yeah.
I wish I could take my computer and show you. I've got one that has like this picture of like golden hair, and then it says no.
Nice.
And then I got another one that says uh, STD, stop the virus from infecting more, stop what D S T, stop Trump, ST. I don't remember. Some whatever.
Something good. Something stop Trump, something STD, something.
Yeah. And I pointed at one of them at my Republican neighbors across the street. They got an American flag up. So,
There you go.
hopefully they'll enjoy that. I don't know. How are you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Okay, that's good.
So do we have somebody joining us today?
Yes, we do. We have an old friend of mine named Brandon Griffin.
Okay.
I knew him when I lived in New York, way back in my 20s. He says that we met at a party at his loft in the East Village, but I don't remember this party at all for some reason. But he said that that I was sitting on a skateboard and that people were like pushing me around this really crowded party, and I was just like going choo 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 choo.
Seems like a good introduction to somebody.
So it's possible, like I could believe that could have been me,
Right.
But anyhow, so he, I think he came back after 9/11. I can't remember the order, but he's been here and we've been hanging out. He's been kind of my COVID buddy. But he is a very, very talented creative director. He worked for some like pretty famous clients in New York and in LA. He's like worked with Jamba Juice and E-Trade and Capital One and Accenture and Sapien and Sprint and like big
Everybody.
yeah. And so he's great. And he's in the waiting room. Should I just admit him and hope that he knows how to use Zoom?
I think so.
All right. I guess I'm going to just go for this. This is his first Zoom call, so let's just see how this works out. I see a title. Hey,
What's
Brandon.
that? Hello. Do you see?
Hello.
I don't know where to set my name.
It looks good. It looks good. Do you know how to turn your video on?
Yep. Hang on a second. Yep. Can you see me?
Not yet.
Oh, hang on.
It's that little camera that says start video.
Yep.
It's kind of bad UI because it can confuse you thinking like you're going to record video.
Can you see me?
Are you a black title?
No, let's see. Under video, always show video.
It's on the dock next to mute. It should say start video. Oh, maybe I can make it. There you are. Oh, okay. So how come it shows his title? Did he join us in two ways?
No, I just see just his picture.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. Brandon, this is Jessica. she's that fantastic millennial I told you I was. Friend. Worker. She's helping me write my book. This is Jessica Lupanow.
Hello.
Nice to meet you.
Jessica. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Where are you?
I'm just outside of LA.
Okay.
Notice that she didn't say Orange County. She's
I did not. Who wants to say they're from Orange County?
But she did make fun of me. She said that my pearls make me look like I'm a Republican. What do you think?
You do look like a Republican.
Really?
No, I don't think.
Well, I don't know how to un-Republican myself. So I was telling her about how I met you in New York at the party, and I was also telling her how you've been a creative director forever, and with all these big high-profile clients, and how lucky we are that you're helping us with this very important graphic for the book. So thanks a lot for joining us.
My pleasure.
So shall we dive in?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, so I'll share screen. Okay, and what I thought I want to ignore this doc. You're working on this graphic that is basically going to explain the framework, that it's going to depict the framework of my book, and it's going to replace this one here, which shows the 4 tenets of UX strategy. And I first wanted to just kind of show you a few interesting, well, hopefully interesting things about my book that make it different from a typical pop business book, or pop tech book, which is kind of what it is. It's not straight ahead tech or straight ahead business. It's got a lot of narrative in there, and a lot of some personality in there, because especially now that it's my second book and the first one was a bestseller for the publisher. So, I've got my capital or whatever Bush said. So I'm now pushing it further, and I want you to kind of know what the limits are to do with the artwork.
Okay.
But, so this book is heavily themed around mobility, and it's not the mobility where like handicapped people need ramps to get up on the sidewalk. It's mobility around getting around with transportation, multimodal transportation. Apps like City Mapper and anyway. So there's that theme going on. That is something to just sort of put in the back of your head. But like it opens up immediately with like a quote from J.G. Ballard's Crash, and this true story about me, on the West Side, hating that I'm on the West Side, and I'm driving back, and I got like eating my burrito, and then this like texter hits me, and my burrito, goes into the windshield. It's a bit of an exaggeration. But then all of a sudden I use my new disruptive insurance provider app from Metromile, and it saves the day. And I have this like amazing user experience using reporting, filling out a claim. And I use that to kick off the book about UX strategy, which I define in the simplest way as the intersection between UX design and business strategy. So basically, if you think about and I know you're familiar, if you just take out the UX part of it, if you think about design over here, and then you think about business strategy, for you, it'd mean like getting that branding right so that it aligns with the business goals, and like Citibank doesn't have like a crazy pink,
Right.
flag, right? So for UX, it's like that the experience is aligned with the business goals, and that whatever product that they're making will make money for the product, but have value to the users. Otherwise, why bother? Because there's a zillion other apps or websites they can use. So every chapter of the book, there's 11 of them, starts with an anecdote. Like chapter 2 starts with an anecdote that's about me working for this agency, and how I got interested in UX strategy, and it breaks down the 4 tenets, which I don't expect you to know, except I just want to do a high level of the terms. Like business strategy is basically like the top line vision of the business. What is the business strategy for Uber is to have as many people taking Ubers as possible, and eventually making a margin. Um, uh, and then the second one gets into the second tenet is uh, it's value innovation. And value innovation is basically, it's like this concept, a bit like a unique value prop. It's like, what is the value that the product brings to the customer that isn't, that is unique, that is innovative, right? So the classic examples are when you have a product that has, let's say like Airbnb is an easy one, because Airbnb is like, before, if you went to San Francisco, you'd stay in a hotel and it was expensive and you didn't have a kitchen, you were a lame part of town. And then all of a sudden with Airbnb, when it started, the idea was like you could stay kind of in the Mission and in a cool place, and it was cheaper and you had a kitchen. And so it brought the cost down and increased the value. That's what that means. The value innovation tenet. The third one, validated user research, is basically user research, which is a huge part of UX. We're meant to go out and do ethnographic research or quantitative research, but this is different because it has the word validated in front of it, where I'm teaching a methodology, based on other authors, that's based on that you do whatever kind of research in a measurable way. That is not just like, oh, I talked to 10 people and anecdotally I think blah, blah, blah. It's like that you run research studies as experiments. And then the fourth tenet is killer UX. And it's just called killer because I'm a California girl. But it's this idea that if you're going to do something innovative, the UX design needs to be killer. It needs to be amazing, and amazing, like not like amazing, so pretty the design, but amazing frictionless, like amazing, like whatever we think about Tinder, the way that all of a sudden dating went from having to read all these profiles to kind of this gestural like yes no on somebody was very innovative, and so innovative so many people copied it. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So those are the 4 tenets. And so as far as just like how the book is every chapter explains 1 or 2 tenets, or some of them there's 4. Not explains it, depicts it. It's a technique of how to make sure you're achieving, good business strategy or killer UX. So, for example, so they all start with a quote, and some of them start with quotes like Joy Division or Throbbing Gristle, and others start with strategy quotes. Then they go into like this one's a personal story about me, but I have ones that have stories about like my dad and my mom and my ancestors and in Poland. And it ends, for instance, on a very existential tip, which is like this idea like that you should try to get that if you're going to do it starts with this Nietzsche quote, that if you're going to do product design, if you're going to spend your time making stuff, it should be stuff that you believe in, that's ethically kosher, that is something that that you have a say ideally in the strategy, because we only live once. And so it ends basically with me telling like this story about my grandfather who had this totally horrible upbringing with his family getting killed in Poland, and then coming across the ocean, and then his mother died at sea, and getting to Quebec, and then getting into a boxing fight, and then going blind, and but then like despite all of this, he had this extremely positive attitude, and he kept himself going by listening to New York Times books on tape. And so each chapter has like this lesson learned, like, things don't always go as planned. We need to be agile, don't overlook everyday opportunities to use technology in unexpected ways to improve users' lives. And then the last line of the book is, our experience is what we make of it. Don't waste it. So it's, just to recap, it's a book that gets very personal. Like, we're writing my chapter 9 now, which is actually like me with my Volkswagen. It's my diary written from age 18 and talking about how, I was this valley girl who wanted this Carmen Gia and, thought it would change my life. But then my whole life like goes to shit. It's like thinking like all these things I want will make me happy. And then I get all of them and, it doesn't make me happy, So that's it. I just sort of wanted you to understand that it's not hopefully just like a boring business book. And I just want us to, that's why I throw those couple of ideas at you before, like, are these graffiti on the wall? Is it, are these, like, we joked around of being skateboard wheels because I'm a skater, but I don't want it to be so dorky. Or what was that third idea? Why am I looking that way? This is Jessica sitting there. Hey, Jessica, what was the third idea we were talking about for Brandon?
We talked about doing tags on the wall. We talked about the skateboard wheels. We talked about
Posters.
Posters. Yeah, was the other one.
Those like those Paula Shear posters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but we think you could do better than that. So I'm going to stop.
All right. So, okay. So I already did this whole thing. So I'll send the comps over in a little bit. Okay. No. So what you have here originally, you got 11 chapters, right?
Yeah, 12, but one of them's fake. It's short. Yeah.
Do 1 or 4 of these, or the combos of all these, do they introduce every chapter?
There's 3 chapters that have all 4. There's 3 chapters that just have 1, and there's 3 chapters that have 2.
Okay, so but they always have one or more of these, correct?
Exactly. That's why this graphic didn't work, because of the texture of the table. Like when we tried to put this one next to this one, it didn't match here,
Yeah, I mean, ideally you want to do these, like you mentioned, silhouetted on a white background. I think that would gives you the most flexibility. I mean, we could do a drop shadow if let's say we had a plate, which we don't need to at this point, but
Right.
let's just say the plate would have a drop shadow. So whatever background you're putting it on. And also if you put it on a white background or silhouette it, you can then put whatever kind of background you want under it.
Right. It's going to be on white for sure. It's going to be like, I mean, it's definitely going to look,
Well, yeah, I mean, that's going to be something I need to know because I need to make sure whatever I'm doing.
Like that's how it's going to look in the book. So like
Right.
the weirdness of it, the only thing about it being on a white background is it might look like they're just kind of coming out of the pages.
Okay, no, I thought you were going to provide different backgrounds that you wanted to put these on, but you don't.
Nah, it needs some kind of background so that they're framed, as opposed to, I don't know if it'll look so good with it just a
Okay, no, so what we'll do is we'll figure 1 to 4 of these things and whatever the combos are of them. And then we'll do something where we have a background that you can either I'll set up or you can set up yourself and put them in position. It's probably easier for me to do it. You can say, okay, I've got yellow, blue, and green, and I've got, just tell me the different combos, and I'll set those. I'll set them up that way.
Oh, that'd be great.
The idea of the graffiti on the wall, I don't love that idea because I think it's I don't mean to be like somebody come in and swish an idea.
Oh no, I stole it from you. It was like
but I just think something like that it's not going to, what's great about color, like you have here, is it reads very quickly. It kind of tells you these are different sections.
Ah,
And graffiti is not going to do that because you're just going to kind of see type and,
right,
that's what you're going to see as opposed to it telling you it's something else. It's not, okay, well, that's Kenny Scharf and there's Keith Haring. It's not going to be that. So I think your basic idea here of color is good. I like it. I mean, the idea of using color to define what section you're in, because you can
right.
use that for a lot of different things. Um, this is all the type that has to go on these, right?
Yeah, it's not changing. These are
Okay.
the text. The font's open to. You control the font. You control the four colors. You control the background.
I control the, does the type have to have equal weight? So in other words, can it say business strategy or does it always have to say business strategy? Value, innovation. I mean, do you know what I mean?
I think
How big you treat something as opposed to first word big, second word small.
I'm just worried that if they were going all in a line, they wouldn't fit on a page when we have our four plates.
Right. Okay. Okay.
That it would be too small, and so they're obviously stacked because I wanted to make the text bigger.
Yeah. No, I mean, this is not, in this example, it's just you tend to want to keep all the type the same size for each one.
Yeah, definitely. I want them to be all equal weight.
Okay.
Like the only thing that's really different is that they're on a different color of this object. That's the concept that we can throw ideas around until you hop off, and then you could maybe, I mean, this one was just like I bought these really cool plates. I don't remember who designed them, but they were like these really fancy Italian plates, and then I was like, oh, let me put them on my fancy table downstairs. And then my friend with a good camera took pictures of them, and then I paid someone else to put the type on it because I couldn't make it pop. And then we realized, like, oh my God, if I
Pay somebody to put type on that?
yeah,
Wow.
yeah, no, this is, and I paid for the plates. And then once we got it down, I showed it to, to the people, and everyone's like, why do you have Frisbees on a table?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they were frisbees or paint buckets or something when I first saw
Yeah,
them.
they don't immediately come across as plates, probably because of the color. And yeah, and I didn't get the whole idea of the tapas 4 plate. And I'm a food person, and that one went right past me.
You are a food person. So this whole idea of spinning plates, like we have one sentence, like, and you want to keep them all spinning with the jar, like, forget that idea.
Yeah. Okay.
Or that you have to eat off at all plates. Like, I don't need those sentences. I
Right.
can just say that, at different points you're going to need these different tenets. But I think we just need a concept that looks better. Like if you were to look at concepts of other business frameworks, just to show you like why I have you on this call and not, Venn diagram dork. Like what's a good one should I look up? Digital transformation.
Oh yeah, one of the 10,000 different lame
Yeah,
diagrams.
Like here's, like if I was to let my publisher do it, not to say that they aren't good artists, but it's like this is even too cool. I would get like this or this, and it's like I want
all this stuff looks the same to me. It's just everybody's trying to look real technical, futuristic. It's just, one looks like the other.
Yep.
They all
Yeah.
look the same.
Then they're all blue. What's up
Yeah,
with
I mean,
the blue?
it's because, the industry has decided that this is the industry color, like various industries, you don't use certain colors for various industries because it's not, people don't associate it with the correct thing. It's not like you use blue and greens for financial companies, and
So,
tech a lot. So
so how, like, how do, like, how would you ideate around, is there anything that we could look at, or is this something we just hang up and just let you go? Like,
well, usually the way I like to work is I like to get educated on what the client is thinking and see what they've done in the past. And, what is their goal? And then usually I think about it for a few days before I start putting any, pencil to paper, so to speak. Um, I mean, for me, the challenge is I love that photo, by the way.
So
For,
good.
I've got four things that, 1 to 4 things that have to work on a page. Okay. In combination with each other or by themselves. I have type I have to work with. I have a background that has to be interchangeable. I mean, to me, those are kind of like the givens, and then it's just a matter of what I do with it. I want you guys to actually expound upon the skateboard idea, because I like the skateboard idea.
well, it was this idea of, well, because the books, about Volkswagen and Metromile and car accidents and me with my car, you know, and transportation. It was like, oh, well, skateboarding is a form of transportation, and skateboard has 4 wheels, and if one wheel comes off, the skateboard doesn't work. It has to have 4 wheels, and you have to have these 4 things. To me, to have, my theory is like all 4 things need to be considered to have a successful UX strategy, and so the skateboard wheels is this idea like, oh, maybe each skateboard wheel has a different color. It looks, but the problem is like the shape of the wheel, like how will it read, and is it too? Yes, I was a
Yeah,
skater, but it's like this is there's like the guy from Boeing is reading this book.
yeah.
Like,
Well, I
I,
mean,
you know what I mean?
the nugget out of the idea there is you have, which I wasn't kind of grasping at the beginning there, is if it really is, a lot of the book is about mobility, like you mentioned, but like in transportation and various things like that, that gives me something to grab, uh, work towards. Um,
Okay.
uh, Plates that, you put on an axle and you can go down the street. I'm kidding.
Or wheels, or the concept of
Yeah,
wheels.
but I mean, the wheels are good. I mean, again, just transportation, mobility. I'll kind of uh, look at that whenever I'm thinking about what I want to do here.
Okay.
The Paula Shear stuff, the posters, they're slightly dated looking, but I've always loved her design. The things with like the circle and the notch in it, and then the type, different directions, um, and different colors. Something like that is. It looked. I like the way it looks. I don't know how fast it reads if you with type like that, but that's something I'll look at too. The
Yeah. Let me see if I can just bring up her name, Paula S.
SCH, yeah.
Um, yeah, I mean, was inspiring for me, but I thought, I mean, actually, your stuff reminds me of her stuff, but I definitely like the high contrast. Like this, I thought these posters was just because, like, but then it's like what's cool about the posters is they would need texture, and then we would have to lay them out 2 by 2, and then I was thinking like, well, what about really cool objects with a word? But then I don't want you to like have an icon or something that means business strategy, because it's too much for people to have to. I don't want like them to need a legend.
Well, I mean, again, you can just have let's say the type is the hero of the image, and you could have a supporting object that's just cool looking, that's with it.
Like what?
Let's say a Monopoly car.
Ah,
let's just say that's like sitting there in the background maybe, and then you got some really cool type and you're looking at the type. The type is telling you the object is just kind of, thing to give you a little bit of smile, a little bit of entertainment value. I don't know if there's a lot of entertainment value in plates. I mean, I think
Oh
when
yeah,
people see
definitely
something
no
like
plate.
this, if they see something like this, there should be, I would hope, it just doesn't bore them to see it. It'd be nice that the thing looks different each time you have 1 to 4 categories together. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So they'd all just look the same. That they feel like they're of a group, but each one stands on its own.
I just thought of an idea, and before I was thinking of vinyl records or something. Like kind of retro-y. And for the mobility thing, I don't only one idea. Don't go with of the 2 ideas. Don't do both on mobility because the framework has to live outside. Has to live on past this mobility theme, and it'll be separate from it in other contexts. So it's okay if one idea has transportation, but I'm hoping the second idea isn't obviously like a wheel or something related to a car. Is that okay?
Right, okay.
Yeah, because the plates are also a big part of Jamie's talks and stuff like that she gives. She'll put it up on the slides and stuff.
Wait,
And it may or may
Jessica.
not be about mobility.
Say that again, Jessica.
The plates are often also part of some of the talks and keynotes that Jamie will give, like
Okay.
independent of the book. And so she'll have like the plates up and be discussing, not necessarily covering the same topics as the book. So it could
Okay.
be something that's not necessarily mobility related.
Okay.
Good point. Yeah, this is just off the top of my head, but like I don't know. Record. I don't know. I know
Does your audience know what a record is?
Yeah, because don't these kids buy vinyl?
Yeah, it's hip and cool again. Now it's vintage to buy vinyls, so it's fine.
Well, we'll go all the way back and do cassettes or 8 tracks.
There you go.
But then it's like, oh, you need to listen to all 4 records at the same time. It's okay. It's fine.
Really, it just needs to be something that is like much more visually interesting and appealing to look at than 4 plates that is like quickly, easily identifiable as 4 different things.
I've got some
and it can
ideas.
be separated,
The idea I just mentioned with the Monopoly car, I know that doesn't mean anything to you, but it's already got me thinking of one direction that I think would look really cool. And for me, it's like once you come up Monopoly car,
like the playing piece.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, just like some object offset from the text so that it's not,
with a little drop shadow, and then you could do some cool type, and maybe it sits on a color background or the type, but that starts giving me an idea, and then instantly I got to start thinking, okay, how do these work together as an individual and as a group?
Yeah, I think like you said earlier, if the individual ones can be like a little bit more interesting, like you were talking about, like having, this one has a different Monopoly piece, so they don't just look like identical copies that someone just clicked and changed the text.
Where they feel like they're a group.
Yeah.
But
they're still interesting. Yeah, exactly.
Individually.
Yeah, I think that'll be really helpful.
Yeah, see, I mean, I look at something like this and I see like, the little race car guy, and then maybe some cool font over it.
I love it. I love it.
It's just, again, it's just it starts letting me it lets me into the process of where I want to go with it.
Right. So like if value innovation maybe was a light bulb, although that's the most obvious thing, but I get it's like maybe symbolic, but not necessarily, maybe abstract.
Or just cool. The item is cool. It's doesn't turn people off. Maybe there's a slight bit of curiosity when they see the image. Like, oh, what's that? Oh, I know what that is. Or I have no idea what that thing is, but that's a very cool looking little thing there. So it gives me an idea. It gives me a pathway in of a direction I can start exploring. But then it also makes me forces me to think, yeah, have each one. Right now, the problem with your current design is they all look the same. They're just different colors.
Yeah, you can't read them. They don't.
Well, they're just
Yeah.
the same thing. It's a
Yeah,
circle.
and when they show up in new chapters and there's a different combination, you kind of just skip right over the image. You're like, you read
Yeah.
the text saying what the tenets are and you skip over it because they all look the same anyways.
You do?
Yeah.
Yes.
Thanks,
and
Jessica.
quite
Anytime.
honestly, let's just run with this for a second. Let's say we have something with the car, okay, the Monopoly car, and we have type. Well, we could do a few different variations of it. So one time the car is kind of in the background, one time it's kind of up front, and so each time she shows it, we have a couple variations of it that when you see it, it's not always exactly the same thing. It's like, oh, it's changed a little bit. You know, so I mean, again, it's not just to these pieces. It just gives me an idea of, it doesn't have to be so staid, the design. Because again, like you said, Jessica, is after you've seen it 3 or 4 times, you start not looking at it anymore.
Yeah, and needs to draw the eye a little bit more,
Yeah.
be a little bit more interesting and
Well, if
individually
anything, I hope it
interesting.
could be the most interesting thing on the page.
Can I give
Yeah.
you a food for thought on killer UX? Since killer is like killer waves, maybe you could have like sunglasses or a surfboard or something. Or is that too literal?
I was thinking like Ted Bundy and or
Just like sneaking up behind you with the knife. Perfect.
yeah.
Killer.
Yeah, like how about 4 serial killers?
Yeah.
people that go around killing cereal.
Them too.
Yeah.
We'll have 2 different variations, one of serial killers and one of serial killers.
Yeah.
And not all dogs and not all cars. Because then
No. But this, again, this is
It's
simply.
not, yeah, it's not necessarily the Monopoly piece.
This is a thought starter. You might see a Monopoly piece for me because I want to see. It'll probably be the first thing I explore, just
Yeah.
because it will put me into the process.
Yeah.
I do like it a lot, and it'll give me, it'll give me something to play with when I create slides, so I could take that little piece and put it on all the slides that are about business strategy. Like it'll give me a theme.
Yeah.
You know, I'm excited. I'm so happy you're helping with this, Brandon. It's gonna be cool because you're cool.
You're cool, and this graphic has nowhere to go but up from plates. So there's really a lot of room for possibilities.
Hey, I spent
I was worried I wouldn't be able to surpass those.
Yeah, it's true. It's a high bar, but we believe in you.
Okay.
So awesome. So, well, thanks. I mean, I feel good that you got the idea.
Idea. Yep.
As my dad would say.
I've got the idea.
Yeah. I'm really excited to see what you're going to come up with. I think it's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. It's not going to be plates.
That's good.
Excellent.
We'll put the plates to rest.
Okay.
Well, thanks, Brandon. Hopefully we can hang out soon and wear our matching cowboy mask. That's where I started getting, because Brandon has that. So I started wearing it, and then Uli's like, "Ooh, you're a cowboy," and I said, "I'm a cowgirl."
And
you have to get him a matching bandana too.
Yeah, I did. And then, then I wore it out with Terry and my son, and he's like, "Did you know that the cloth masks, those bandanas, don't stop COVID? That that?" And I'm like, "Oh, and your hospital mask does? Like you've been wearing that for 3 months, really, Terry?" Like he's like,
he's a teenager. He knows everything. You just haven't realized he knows everything yet. That's how it works when you're a teenager.
So I put the bandana up, and I'm like, I'm breathing right now. He goes, "Cough," and I'm like, and he's like, "I feel the air."
Yeah, no. What he's probably referring to is there was a study where the bandanas weren't as effective, but they weren't bandanas like this. They were like neck gaiters that are made of polyester, like stretch material.
Yeah, so they're supposed to be like breathable.
Yeah, and the material itself actually shatters the cough or the sneeze and breaks it up and makes it more, this
spreads more easily. Yeah.
So everybody just says, "Oh, it's the bandana." So the bandanas, got associated with it, but it's the polyester gaiters. I don't want polyester on my face.
Yeah, that's gross. Well, I'm all about bandanas now, and everyone that walks the Arroyo wears it. And until they say no, you have to wear. You have to look like a nurse. I'm gonna look like a cowgirl.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the nuclear atomic, fallout shelter suits, to come next.
Well, you got your Civil War happening downtown in a couple of weeks, right? You're all boarded up there.
Yeah, we've been boarded up again. Sucks.
Oh, I know you're supposed to go, but do you want to tell Jessica the story about the cops?
What?
Oh my.
When the cops came in your building.
Oh. Well, I had a cop point his loaded pistol at me in my hallway. I'm on the 11th floor, and he was hiding in the 10th floor stairwell. The police had breached our building. We live in a nice high rise.
Yeah, where do you live?
Downtown Los Angeles. I mean, we live
wow.
blocks. I live a couple blocks from City Hall, and
okay.
And there are riots. He didn't give the context.
Right.
It was in the middle when everybody was rioting.
It was like within the first 2 days back in May.
Okay.
And these police breached our building without the building's knowledge, and they started trying to hunt escaped protesters down in our building that didn't exist.
Wow.
They assumed
hiding out in your
because I was
stairwell.
walking down the hallway that
suspiciously.
Yeah, and they would pull a gun on me. It
Jeez.
pissed me off.
Fair.
His own building, he's like a respectable man, and they throw him down like he's like Antifa or something.
Wow, that's crazy. Oh my God, I can't imagine if that happened here in my apartment. Just like go out to take out the trash. You're just like
in Orange County. I can't imagine.
I'm moving to Orange County.
Yeah, come on down. Much calmer here.
And wear pearls, definitely, so you get confused as a Republican.
It's true.
I won't be confused with a Republican, but nothing against Republicans.
Yeah, nothing against them at all.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Brandon. Hopefully we'll hang soon.
Okay. I will circle back with you in the next day or so.
Awesome. Yeah.
Jessica, nice meeting you.
So nice to meet you too.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
He seems great.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like he's like really got a lot of, unsurprisingly, obviously he's been doing this for a while. This is not his first time ever making any kind of graphic, but he had a lot of really great ideas. I'm excited.
Yeah. There you go. So, okay. The art sorted. What should we work on next? The letter thing we're going to do after,
Okay.
Yeah. Should we try to chop the VW thing down?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Head over to chapter 10.
Alrighty. Oh, did I tell you that Indy Young says she's going to write a blurb for the cover?
Nice. That'll work out.
Yeah, and also that means we'll have a chick blurb because they're all guy blurbs.
Yeah.
And I got to represent,
Mm-hmm. No, that'll be great. So funny. I just default to saying I live outside of LA, which mostly comes from when I actually lived in LA and just didn't want to tell people I lived in LA. So I said I lived just outside of LA. But I still say it even to people that live there and know where Orange County is.
Yeah. Jill, we were on this call with Adobe, and I heard her tell everybody that she lives in Malibu, and I'm like, what are you talking? You live in Ventura County. She's like, because I'm so LA, I'm like, have to be so specific,
Yeah, right.
She's like, I'm like, yeah, you're just making it sound like you're rich, Okay. So here we are. Man, my plates, man, he really tore those out, tore them apart.
Your plates, they served their purpose. They had a good life, they had a good run, and they're ready to be retired, put away in the cabinet, and have something else come out. Maybe some Monopoly pieces.
Okay, so let's talk intro. It's a case study, digital transformation at Volkswagen. And Volkswagen describes their own history as, and then it goes
some big old block.
So, okay, so the constraints are we don't want to change any sentences or reword anything. We just want to remove sentences. Does that make sense?
Remove entire sentences, yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want them to say like, I want it to be directly quoting entire sentences from their own press kit. So it's not like I'm paraphrasing in any way.
Yeah. Yeah, initially I was thinking like, oh, we'll just paraphrase all this stuff, but I forgot that it's like trying to describe Nazi origin stories for a company is pretty tricky water, or you're treading some scary waters there. So I think keeping it with the way that they put it is probably for the best.
Okay, now for sure I want it to have like kick off with the Nazi thing.
No, it definitely should. I'm just saying rewriting that or paraphrasing it is probably less than ideal. It's got to be in there though. I feel like we could take out this whole sentence about this. On May 28th, 1937, I'm going to butcher all of this. The Gesellschaft zur whatever company for the preparation of the German Volkswagen was formally established. Uh-oh. Lost her.
Yeah. What was the sentence that you thought we should delete?
This whole sentence right here. This like, the company was formally established with their really long name.
Yeah, it's too many German words too. Okay.
And then the name was changed to.
Okay, the history of the Volkswagen brand began with CAFR development work on the, like, what does that mean? CAFR? Development with CAFR?
Is that like their first car? Oh, CAFR is German for beetle.
Oh, of course. Okay. So if we put that in there, it's okay. Right?
Yeah, I think so. We're just translating.
Yeah, the beetle. That began with the beetle. Development work on the development work on this Nazi prestige product. And the company built its main plant. Began in 1934. I don't think we need
a name change.
Yeah, I sort of, but I think that the company was built, the plant in Wolfsburg.
Yeah.
So what's legal? Can we just cut this to the company?
Yeah, I think like technically like the most kosher way to do it, as you would say, is to like throw an ellipse in here and then we like delete all of this.
Beautiful.
Oops.
Okay. However, the outbreak of war and integration in the arms industry prevented mass production of the Volkswagen people's car, which is what the Beatles were. It was the people's car.
Mm-hmm.
It's very much like, the Ford Model T.
Mm-hmm.
A car that the people can afford. However, the outbreak prevented mass production of the people's car. Instead, military vehicles and other ornaments were produced using forced labor. All right, let's decide. I'm going to highlight stuff that we maybe cut. Okay. After the war, the British instructed Volkswagen to build. Let's look for the sentences that are important.
Totally useless. Oh, or important, the opposite way.
Yeah, because it's like easy. It's hard. Let's see what we have to keep. Like the history of the BMW brand with its Nazi prestige product. The company built its main plant in what has become. Okay, and then
I think we have to keep these sentences.
Yeah. We're on to the second. After the war, the British started to build the Volkswagen Saloon at the end of 45 with the Type 2. All right, just don't do anything. Let it stay. Volkswagen became a symbol of economic, above all, as a result of the strong export orientation on the part of the company, converted into a joint. Okay.
I feel like we ideally would just cut this. After the war, Volkswagen became a symbol of Germany's economic miracle.
Yeah, do it.
Because nobody cares about all the different types of cars and when they came out.
Someone might. That's a hype.
Well, yes, it is. It's helpful content if you are really interested in that. But for our purposes, this is good enough.
Okay. Here, I'm going to unbold this because
yeah.
Being weird. Okay. And this is all orange, right?
Yeah.
It's probably going to go. Oh my God. All right. So after the war, Volkswagen became a symbol of Germany's economic miracle. Above all, orientation on the part of the company. It's like, I don't know if the translation is wrong, or I'm just not smart enough to understand the sentence.
This wasn't translated. This was in English on their website, but I don't understand what this means either. Okay. Above all, I don't understand what any of, as a result of the strong export orientation on the part.
If we just lose this, all that.
Yeah.
What if we said Volkswagen describes their own history, which is excerpted below, and then are we allowed to or not have to have these things? Is that an Angela question?
I think that's an Angela question. I think we should leave them for now so we know like where we cut things from, and then we should ask her.
Okay, so innovative and flexible manufacturing systems made an appearance in the 70s and led to the birth of a new generation of Volkswagens with all this stuff. Growth was boosted in the 80s through advances in flexible and forward-looking. As is global is emerging as one of the most successful volume car, and today offers cutting edge for future, such as so that we lose.
Yeah. We can probably just do this. Oh, let me get rid of the highlight. I know it's annoying having all these ellipses everywhere, but let's just leave them and ask Angela about how to properly do it.
Its main plan in what has become Wolfsburg. Can we add Germany?
Yeah, we would do it. I think we would do it like.
Or wait, or is it clear the German company is one of the largest?
I think it's clear it's in Germany.
Okay. After the war, I mean, like,
And we're talking about it's Germany's economic miracle.
Okay, so became a symbol of their economic, made an appearance in the 70s.
I feel like we can get rid of all these models.
Really?
Led to the birth of a new generation of Volkswagens.
Yeah. I mean, I like that it says the Golf because we show the Golf, but growth is boosted in the 80s through advances in vehicle technology, flexible production, and forward-looking international. And forward-looking?
Growth was boosted through advances in.
I mean,
no, because it's forward-looking international cooperation. So multiple cooperative partners.
All right. As its Volkswagen has emerged as one of the world's most successful volume car manufacturers, and today offers cutting edge. Okay, so we can
like
leave it as it is, or cut the last line and save it. I don't know.
I kind of like that they have the e-mobility and digitalization. It's interesting to see like how they describe themselves.
Okay, I think we can get rid of this.
Yeah, I agree.
The company is one of the world's largest manufacturers, world's largest automakers with a fleet of over 120 million vehicles worldwide across their 12 brands. Looks at as the history began with the development. The company built in Wolfsburg after the war. Volkswagen became a symbol of Germany's economic miracle, and it made appearance in the 70s and led to a birth of a new generation. Growth was boosted in the 80s through advances in vehicle, blah, blah, blah. Was merging as one of the world. Okay. I think that's good.
Yeah. That's a more appropriate length.
Okay. And it has all the kind of the buzzwords that I needed. Like, I mean, like it mentions the Beetle, it mentions the years, it mentions Wolfsburg, it mentions
their advances in technology, their e-mobility and digitalization.
Okay, so now we want to condense this, I guess. They were working on technology such as self-learning navigation systems.
Wait, why do we want to condense this?
I don't know.
Maybe. This second paragraph is explaining Dieselgate.
Okay, so then so here they were working on such as,
because I think the way we laid it out, it was supposed to be like history,
okay,
like their high-tech innovations, Dieselgate,
okay,
post-Dieselgate.
Then I think it's
I mean, if you wanted to feel a little bit more like the history part is not so separate, we could take out that last sentence like you were suggesting. That way we say like, because then the last sentence leaves off, growth was boosted in the 1980s through advances in vehicle technology, flexible production, and forward-looking international cooperation. And then we start the next paragraph with, by 2014, they were working on technical innovations such as.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's good.
And that 3 takes it to company history.
Yeah.
By 2014, they were working on such as self-learning navigation. Yeah, this is it because it goes from like forward-looking, top the list with. However, at that point, they were just integrating in. Not just. I feel like only.
Only, yeah. Because that makes it sound like we're about to say they were just doing this, but then they did that. Instead, we say, but then there was a scandal.
Okay, and then contained software that altered the vehicle's performance in order to pass. That was called admitted to, and it called they paid more than. And I mean, I guess we don't need to footnote this stuff because it's like everywhere.
It probably should have a footnote if we're having like statistics for wherever we got them from.
Yeah, let O'Reilly call them out, I guess.
Yeah.
The scandal became a catalyst for the Volkswagen Group to reinvent themselves as both a brand and as a business. In 2016, they announced a new program called Strategy 20. This program includes the investment of tens of billions of dollars in the development of the entire business. In other words, a digital transformation. And then all of a sudden, it just starts with this.
Yep.
All right, do you find that
weird? Yes.
okay? What if we? Okay, what if this? Okay, firstly, not to confuse the case study of 10 with the case study of 9. What if we got rid of the word case study? You think it matters?
So then we say, I'm going to use a case study of the Volkswagen Group to explain each one, and then just say digital transformation at Volkswagen. I think that's fine. I don't think we need to say a case study.
Okay, well, the reason, all right, well, how about we figure out where to fix the digital transformation section?
Okay. I think that sounds good.
Okay. Let's see. So this is V2. Okay, so this is the V2. Okay, so
in this one, let's separate them back out. The
yeah, let's just see
explanation
how
of
it
customer
looks.
experience.
So you go ahead and take all the VW crap and put it below
Got it.
this, starting from the top.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm waiting for the V2 document to load. There we go. These lengthy documents. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to take out all of the VW stuff in each of the 4 areas and move it to the Volkswagen section at the end.
Right, so you're going to start with this here, with digital transformation, or with this. It seems like if you're going to do it, you need to put this in with here.
Yeah, just wait. Just give me a second to move some things around.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, I think I separated them out now.
All right. I was trying to get back to the internet, but I can. Okay, so let's see. Transform or die, unraveling digital transformation. Areas of digital transformation. Business model. Technology and data. People and processes.
I left the headings in so we can tell where each one starts and stops, but we can take them out if it makes more sense to read it all together.
Or we'll just change the heading.
Yeah.
Well, my first, I think it's way easier to read.
Yeah.
The 4 areas, because it's like, it's all the business stuff, all the terms crammed together. Customer experience, business model, technology. Like, I think it flows.
Yeah, it's also nicer to reference if you're like what are the 4 areas of digital transformation? And you flip open the book and you go to the area that says 4 areas of digital transformation.
Now I'll discuss the the Volkswagen to illustrate each of the 4 areas.
Yeah.
Shouldn't this sentence kind of go with under here?
Yeah, that would probably make more sense.
And can this just go up with that?
Mm-hmm.
And then if the titles just say customer experience at Volkswagen,
Yeah, so you just want each of them to say at Volkswagen at the end. Or do we want to make some comment about what they actually changed and use that as the title? If that makes sense.
I think it should. Let's see what. Let's see if Angela puts them back in the way that we had it.
And groups them back together.
You know, or we make a note. Hey, Angela. The first version of this the first version of this has each combines the Volkswagen case study with the 4 areas. You can see it. I went with this one because it seemed to flow better. Make those all those headers say at Volkswagen.
Okay. I'm grabbing the link for V1.
Okay, I'm going to put this note to her. Up. I'm going to put, I think I should put it in the, no, I should put it here. And let's make it red, like when Volkswagen writes me. Okay. All right, so you're going to attach it to here?
Yeah, let me just paste the link. Okay. And then let me throw at Volkswagen at the end of each of these other headers. And then I figure we can take out the for Volkswagen at the beginning of each of those.
I think, does it have to be for Volkswagen Group?
I don't know. How often do we refer to them as Volkswagen Group versus Volkswagen?
Well, how do they refer to themselves in their little history? Let's see. They refer to themselves as Volkswagen Group.
So should we change all Volkswagen to Volkswagen Group when we're talking about their?
I don't know. I do not know. We can figure it out later. But I think, so how about if it said the future in front of all of them?
Okay, the future blank at Volkswagen.
Yeah. or for instead of at? Business model for Volkswagen. The future business model for Volkswagen. Is it at or for?
The future. Well, because then it's weird when you have like technology and data. The future technology and data for Volkswagen.
Well, so you
Is it the future of customer experience at Volkswagen? And the future of technology and data at Volkswagen?
yeah. Let's leave it at that. Let's let her go to town on this.
Is it the future of business model at Volkswagen?
No, it's the future business model
Yeah.
of
The future of Volkswagen's business model.
Let Angela do it.
Yeah.
Jesus. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Jesus, man. It's so.
Yeah, she'll fix it.
I'm not frustrated. Yeah, I'm just frustrated with this everything.
Stuff, yeah. I think it's much better separated out, but at least she can see both versions now.
Okay, so are we ready to hand it off to her?
I believe so. I think it's done.
There's no.
It's a comment.
About what?
Somewhere. You said, I think this is another way. I think this was like originally part of Sarah's comment.
Yeah. I just want to.
I think it was to help us with the lessons learned.
Maybe I should there, okay.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna put it on my list to send it to my. I mean, I'm sure my brother's gonna look at it. I gotta say happy birthday to my brother.
Oh yeah, don't forget.
Where is he at? I love how you don't have to send cards anymore. You'll send like a thing coming out of his. Hey, Terry. Terry. Okay.
Your computer is much less exciting. It just says sent with balloons.
We'll have to call Mom to remind her to share with her. Okay. Okay. He's not, but just to like, it'd be funny if you were thought that, right? Okay. All right.
Ready to send to Angela?
Oh, that?
That.
I guess so. I found another article about digital transformation. You want to see it really fast or no?
Nope.
even like a little peeky at it.
Painful. What does that have in it?
He's got 4 areas.
Ooh.
One of them is different from ours.
Great. But is it different, or did he combine, like, he's like, oh, processes and data?
Let's see. Let's see if it's even here. There it is. See how organized I am? Go. Why does everything have to suck? I sound like my diary.
So that's exactly what I was going to say. You sound like an entry in your own teenage diary.
I was like looking through it. I'm like, all I do is talk about, I hate this, I hate that.
That is like the anthem of being a teenager. You hate everything. Everyone's dead to you. Why does everybody have to ruin your life? Being a teen is hard. I feel like as you become an adult, you just become much more ambivalent about everything. You're like, yeah, life sucks. What else is new? But when you're a teen, that's new to you, that life sucks, and it's all you can think about.
It's true. Okay, I give up. All right, so what I can do is I can call my mom after we're done and joint call Darren.
Yeah.
All right. All right. So there's this article that I can't find.
Yeah.
That let's see.
That wasn't the link in that.
It was. It just didn't work.
Oh, weird.
So it's a strategic framework for a strategic strategy.
Strategic.
It's super strategic. And this guy, I'm sure he knows, because he's got to be at least 35 years old. All right. Yes, I'm ageist. 37-minute read. Jeez Louise. All right. With the advent of the digital disruption, what? What? With the advent, what? Okay, whatever. So then he's here. A few, such as the New York Times has managed to adapt. La la la. We know that. Nice graphic. Whoa, code. Look, Jessica.
Wow, reminds me of undergrad.
Fundamentally, a wave of current midterm learning. Several underlying economic drivers have been pushing the adoption of digital. But today we can define a framework for businesses to follow. The framework for businesses to successfully extract value from digital. There are 4 areas, layers, or components. What?
One of those.
I'm already lost. That need to be paid attention to. Colon. Integrated business strategy that is driven by digitization of the core business operating model.
What?
Finding new opportunities for new digital growth. I don't know how that's different from that one. Developing and aligning the enablers for digital transformation. People, data,
technology.
And then there's this weird one over here.
Ecosystems. Close it. Close the tab. Just close it.
Come on. What happened to customer? What about customer experience?
No one cares about the customer experience, I guess.
It's like the main thing. It's the main component driver for outcome or framework. Wait, what about this thing? The strategy palette, a strategy for strategy. Today, a one-size-fits-all approach to strategy, if that was ever useful, does not work. And firms need to have strategies for setting their strategies. I want a sentence that says strategy for time. Why? Why are you not pushing me?
Oh, why?
I'm telling you, mediums, it's a garbage fire of amateur content. Yeah. In short, the classic linear approach to devising can no longer, I said that like 7 years ago. All right, so you don't think we need to,
no.
I mean, no?
No.
There might be a nugget of good.
No.
What about we need the sense?
My strategies need strategies.
Yeah, but rather to the end-to-end customer experience.
So customer experience is in there.
We talked about value chain, right?
Yep.
And the business ecosystem. Wow. All right. So what about that? No. Are we done with you sure?
Yeah. I feel good about the fact that, like, similar to UX strategy with the first edition, there are so many disparate random ideas about digital transformation, and people are using it in context or like in context where it doesn't even make sense, just because they're like, the word digital is what I'm talking about, and transformation, like, we have made better clocks, like, it's just like random places where they're using it. I think there's tons of articles out there, and I think there's no cohesive ideas on it that we have not yet uncovered.
Should I quote you?
Yeah, that exactly. It's just like there's nothing cohesive.
So, and we said though that it's not cohesive,
Yeah.
right? My friend Marjorie said a good. I was showing her the sentence that the guy from City National Bank sent me about how the design thinking stuff.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And she's like, oh, because she works for this corporation,
Mhm.
actually the one discussed in the story here.
Ah.
They fired her, let me go, not her. I can't be fired because I didn't work there full time. But anyway, she said that digital transformation is just, design thinking is just signaling. And what the word that they really wanted, they're just trying to say is user-centered design.
Mm.
Right? That you can just almost, in most cases, replace it.
This is pretty true.
Yeah, so we need to we need to big quote that, okay?
Yeah.
Just kind of remember that. All right, so I'll say here, Angela, oh no, what do I do? Can't I just send a note to her?
Possibly. I mean, you might just have to like delete her and re-add her if you want to send the note from inside here.
What if I say copy link?
Yeah, then you can just send her an email.
Okay, and then
she'll be able to edit it and make comments.
Right, and then I'll say or okay. Let me see her. There she is. Oh, she's expecting our tech reviews on Monday. Then we'll have 4 weeks.
Yay.
She's so sweet. Okay. La 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 la.
For you to work your magic. Also, you spelled your name wrong.
I have Grammarly. It's telling me. Is this good enough?
Great.
She was like saying, "Oh, the artwork won't take long. We can do all the figures." I'm like, I don't think you're going to be doing these figures.
Yeah.
Okay, so can we have more time? Unfortunately, no. Okay, so now we do this fun thing, and then we call it a weekend.
All right.
Okay, so that was chapter 9.
Yeah. Chapter 9. Let's jump back into your diary.
Let's jump back into my diary. Yeah, there it is over there. That was funny that I had my diary.
I cannot believe that you had it It was so fun to just get a sneak peek into your life at like 16. So relatable.
I'm grateful that you think that way. I just hope other people do too.
I hope so. I think people will appreciate it. It's a never before seen peek into the life of
But what if it's just
Jaime
like
Levy.
not interesting? Or what if people in Europe are like, well, what is this?
I mean, you could say that about any of your anecdotes. What if people don't care that my dad had a hot dog stand? Like,
yeah, that's true.
so what? It's your book.
I noticed that in all of them, they're kind of like, in most of them, they're like, today, it's like this summation of my day.
Yeah.
Is that how people? Okay. All right. So
that's how I did my diary for sure.
Okay. So, all right. We have the new title. God, I can't wait to get rid of that again. Dear Diary, today was not a positive experience. I had to walk all the way home from school again. I changed that a little. Everybody at my school has a car except me. I hate these fucking rich kids. So O'Reilly is not going to let this one go in. I hate. What would I say? It's not fair that everybody has a car. I did a bunch of. I got it. How about like a bunch of snobby rich kids?
Yeah.
All right. And that idiot in history won't stop. I made it instead of singing, won't stop humming Michelle at me. Or do you think it could be won't stop humming Michelle when I walk by him? Or
yeah, when I walk into class. Humming at someone is weird.
I know. I thought that sounded too contemporary. Why were my parents so lame to name me after a famous Beatles song? It's like every girl born in 1966 has that name. I think I added that.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to make clear that there was an identity crisis thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
And how I think we need to look at this is like, is there a sentence in here that is not necessary?
Yeah.
Okay. So everything in here we need, right? Because I walked home, so I don't have a car. Everyone has a car. They're all rich. And then the name problem, and yeah.
Yeah.
And then okay, today didn't suck like usual. After school, Stacy and I drove around in her new black VW Rabbit with the top down, blasting music. Would it be better driving around blasting music in her, or you like it?
I don't know. It's however you would have said it.
I don't know. She totally got me into the Cure and Joy division. I didn't have time to study for Spanish tests. Okay, so
you have an alternative.
So it's more of, can we find another place to say that I got into, like, Eric could have got me into them.
Yeah.
Except, well,
I guess there's not a whole lot of Eric. Like you basically start dating him, and then the next entry we have is you guys breaking up. I feel like it kind of takes away from you guys getting together if we're like, oh, just Eric S., the cutest guy at Taft. Also, he likes Joy Division.
Well, how about here? The only other choice is I hope that Eric sees me. He likes Scott, which is not true. He would like the goth shit.
Why do you want to take it out of the story with Stacy?
Well, I'm just saying, is there any other place before we just plop it in there? Because she certainly thought Terry Hall was a goofball, but so what?
Yeah, I think it would be hard to fit it somewhere else. And if we put it too far at the end, then it's like
contrived.
Yeah.
Okay, so how about we go with, so we're gonna, she totally got me hooked on, or I would say she got me into the Cure Noisian.
Yeah.
And this, I know I'm saying and, but we don't care about that, right? And
Nope.
this cool ska band called The Specials.
Is it weird that you're saying in the previous thing, like, why do my parents have to name me after a famous Beatles song? And then in the next entry, you're like, I swear if I have a son, I'm going to name him Terry.
Okay.
I mean, I guess there's no logic. It's teenage logic.
Well, that's why I wanted it to come somewhere later on.
Are we cutting? We're not going to have a picture of you and Terry with the golf, are we?
Yeah, it's going to be at the bottom.
Okay.
Right here.
So that'll be like the conclusion. There won't be any text with it. It'll just
exactly.
be that
I wanted to end with I guess I'm Jamie. I don't want any of this. I wanted to end with the photo with I guess I'm Jamie now and the photo of me with Terry in the car.
I think it'd be kind of, I don't know. It could just be like a little, if you just say like, I think Terry Hall is so cute, and then you don't say anything else about it, and then you have the picture with you and you say Jamie and her son Terry.
No. Wait. Maybe. Hold on. I'm sorry I said that. That's wrong. That's what happened. What the hell's going on? I just took all those words that we had and they disappeared. There they are.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to try to get this out of here. Cut. All right. So it can't go here, right?
No.
Okay. There's a lot happening here.
Yeah, that covers a lot of ground in those couple sentences.
All right. It's not going to happen. Like, why would he break up with me and I start talking about the Specials?
Yeah. Also, you're angry. You're not just like, someday.
Right. I'm not like, now I just got dumped. Now let me think about my future son. Well, good time is here. I think I have a new boyfriend.
You can maybe fit it in there, like before or after the pups and pets.
What if I said Eric got me into this band?
Yeah, you can just say like, I went to his house last night and we listened to this ska band called The Specials.
Well, that would have happened. We were hanging at his house listening to The Specials. I think I would name my son Tara. I hope that Eric. I don't want to touch this one. I feel like this is it.
Yeah. I think it's like it fits talking about the Specials, and Terry Hall fits here. I feel like the hard sell is just saying, I swear if I have a son, I'll name him Terry. Like, that's a little weird to just be like, I hate that my parents did this to me. Someday I'm going to do it to my son. That's why I was trying to say if we just like put it in the caption as almost like an Easter egg of sorts, you know?
And then we can't have I love the name Terry.
Yeah. I don't know. Feels a little on the nose. But I guess lots of it does.
So he's into I think he's also into the specials. Is that saying also?
Yeah, so you're already into them.
So that would make sense. So how about this? This would make sense. His favorite band. Because I'm into music.
Mm-hmm. So, well, good mood time is here. I think I have a new boyfriend. Who, you ask? Oh, just Eric S., the cutest guy at Taft. His favorite band is the Specials.
The lead singer Terry Hall is so cute. What a cool name.
Yeah, I feel like it's this last part that's really bothering me. This, like, what a cool name. I love the name Terry.
Let's pretend it's not there.
Yeah.
Let's just pretend it went. I also made it through my first day at Pups and Pets. Tonight, Eric and I are going to see that new car movie, Christine. I bet he'll try to get the second base. Okay. Okay, so how do you feel?
I think this is, well, the only thing that I think is weird about it now is just that we're saying that Terry Hall is cute when you say Eric S. is the cutest guy at Taft.
It doesn't work. And first of all, I don't believe that anyone is going to connect the dots that Terry
and Terry.
Yeah, I think the whole thing is I think I can't have everything.
Yeah. It just seems like a really big push to be like, I love the name Terry for a boy.
Yeah, and I think that people aren't gonna catch it. Okay, so let's just drop it. Okay, so today was not a pot. They were all in that idiot, so lame. It's like every girl born in 1966 in the whole world has that name or has that name.
It's like every girl in the world born in 1966 has that name.
Perfect. Okay, today didn't suck like usual. After school, Stacy and I drove around in her new wrap with the top down. She's totally got me into The Cure. Joy Division. I didn't have time to study for my Spanish test today. I don't know, but whatever. I feel like saying period, whatever.
Whatever, yeah.
What do you think? Does it need a capital?
Yeah, I think a capital.
I've been thinking my life would be perfect if I had these three things: a boyfriend, a job, and a cool car.
I think you wouldn't say these. Like, my life would be perfect if I had three things. These three things sounds too story-y.
If I had these three things at the same time, or how about my life would be perfect if I just had
yeah, if I just had a boyfriend, a job, and a cool car. Yeah, it just seems weird. Like, you wouldn't summarize your thoughts and be like, I want these three things. Here are my three things.
If I just had a boyfriend, a job, and a cool car. I wish I could get a VW like Stacy's. I'm going to ask my dad if he'll help me get one. You're not going to believe this. My dad lent me the money to get a super cool used convertible Carmen Ghia. I just have to get a part-time job because he's making me pay for my own gas and car insurance. Dad's a dick. But at least I'll have a cool car to drive to school on Monday. I hope. When I say I hope Eric sees me, or I hope that Eric sees me?
I hope Eric sees me.
That's you. Making it all proper. All right. And then we have me wearing this crazy dress and
Love it.
but Brandon and every guy who's above 50 thinks I'm cute. Let's see. Okay, well, good mood time is here. I think I have a new boyfriend. Who, you ask? Oh, just Eric S., the cutest guy at Taft. I also made it through my first day at Pups and Pets. For every puppy I sell, I get 5% commission. I think it was actually 2%.
Ooh.
Right? Which is like no money.
So yeah, and you're like 2%.
But like, if you're making $3 an hour and then you sell a stupid $500 puppy, that's like $10. Is it? Yeah, that's a lot of jack. That's, and I was when I learned that, I was like selling puppies like crazy, Jessica. If any little kid walked in there, I'd get out the cutest one and put it, and I'd say like, this dog is a perfect disposition. That was my word, my go-to.
A perfect disposition.
Yeah.
That's great.
Like it's like always in a good mood or something.
Yeah.
All right. So tonight, Eric and I, do we need to have the car movie because we talk about cars so much?
That one I added in. You put like that was a direct quote from your diary. You said that car movie.
Really?
I think so. Or maybe you just said it. I'm pretty sure it was from the diary though. That's why I added it.
Okay, we gotta leave it. This has got to be the worst week of my entire life. Uh-oh. Eric and I were hanging there. I was a teenager. I thought everything was fine, but then out of nowhere, he said that he wanted to break up. I was so upset that I just ran out crying. I was driving down Ventura Boulevard. Isn't B capitalized? Or
yeah, I think so.
But would I totally freaked out. Totally freaked out and accidentally smashed into some rich lady's Jaguar. I have rich twice in here.
Like rich kids and rich lady? Is that what you're talking about? I think that's fine.
Are you sure? I shouldn't just make them snobby at the top and not rich?
No, I think because you say, oh, where'd it go? You say snobby rich kids. I think it's fine. It's a kid's diary. You don't have like this never-ending thesaurus of words to use.
Then I called Pups and Pets and told I want to change. I don't like Mr. Griffin. I used it because that's Brandon's name, but like, can you give like a better old man, boring guy name?
A boring old man name.
Wait, maybe I'll just as a joke. Not a boring guy. I'll name him after my dentist.
There you go.
Mr. That's good.
Yeah, that sounds like an actual name. But then we need to change the second one too. I hate Mr. Rossi.
Oh yeah, so there's too much I hate in here. I didn't have a car and he fired me. Wait, hold on. I hate. My poor car. My whole life is ruined. Okay, I thought there was this other I hate. Okay, there's I hate. And then.
That's it.
Oh, I got rid of the other I hate thing. Okay. Yesterday, I hate everything.
So teen.
And then my poor car. My whole life is ruined. Yesterday was crazy. I went out to dinner with my mom and her new boyfriend in Encino. Is it clear that we went out to dinner in Encino or that our new boyfriend's in Encino?
I think both lead me to presume you went to Encino for dinner. Either the boyfriend's there and you went there for dinner, or you went to dinner there. I think it's fine.
All right, there was this kind of cute guy who kept looking at me. And then as we were walking out, he came up to me and asked if I felt like hanging out. What did you say, felt like, or free too? It's fine, or what?
If I felt like, I think that's fine.
Okay. He ended up coming with me to Stacey's house and we all got stoned. How about super stoned?
Sure.
How about wasted? We'll leave it. Okay. He goes to this college Do we need Andy? I think I do.
Yeah, you used a lot of names in your diary.
Andy goes to a college.
Although maybe you would have said it because then you're like he before this, so maybe you would have said there's this kind of cute guy who kept looking at me and as we're walking up, he came up to me and asked if I felt like hanging out. Like, would you have said like his name was Andy and he ended up coming with me to Stacy's house?
Yeah, we didn't even say his name yet. Period. And then we all got stoned.
Yeah.
Andy goes to a college. Okay, so now he goes. We don't need Andy there. He goes to a college. Yeah. He goes to a college called San Francisco State University. He goes to this college.
Yeah. It's weird to say like a college called this. He goes to.
He's in
maybe
college.
Like,
how about he's okay, it has to be he goes to San Francisco State, or what if I say he's in his second year of college at San Francisco State, or he goes to.
I think you can just say he goes to San Francisco State.
San Francisco State University. I didn't even know there was a state college up there.
Yeah.
So I decided I'm going to go there. 2, my dad says he'll pay for the dorm since I won't need rip-off car insurance up there. Whoopsie.
I think last time we had it say like anymore. Presuming your car is totaled.
Okay. Oh my God. What a day. My dad dropped me off at my new dorm. When he drove away, I almost cried. But then Andy showed up, took me on the train. My first time to this cool place. I'm having this issue with this place.
Yeah.
This cool part of town. We had area.
I don't know. What would you have called it? I think part of town or area would make more sense. Because it's not exactly like, because this makes it sound like the Haight-Ashbury is like, he took me to this one bar, you know.
To this area called the Haight, to this famous part of town.
I think part of town sounds more casual.
I feel like a different person in the city. Like I go to the Haight-Ashbury,
you changed.
Like 20 years after the love-ins, and all of a sudden I'm a new person. When we got back to the dorms, he told me he wanted to introduce me to some of his friends. On the way up in the elevator, I told him to tell them that my name was Jamie and not Michelle. I always loved that character, Jamie Summers in The Bionic Woman. When the door opened, he introduced me to this girl, Mindy. She seems pretty cool and is also into goth music. Anyway, guess I'm Jamie now.
I think that's so great.
I hope so. But why is Terry in the picture?
Yeah, I don't know. This picture now seems more out of place without the like life update.
Should we we tried. I don't know what to do. How many entries do you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
That's it.
So it's almost like I bought the car for nothing and we just ended like that.
I mean, it's just hard to have the final picture without any sort of like a catching up since then. That's kind of the trade-off. Like, it is cool to end on like, anyways, guess I'm Jamie now. And then just like, bam, lessons learned into the book.
Yeah. And it feels a little I talk about Terry in here enough. It turned out that I want to make sure this is in the right order. A car, a boyfriend. All I want is, if I just had a boyfriend, a job, and a cool car. So this needs to be a boyfriend,
and a cool car.
Did I say my life would be perfect?
Yeah.
Okay. There's kind of where there's a reference to the sun. I think that I definitely don't want a picture of me in front of the car without Terry.
Right.
Why don't I'll send it to Jeffrey and let him decide.
Okay.
And then I'll put a note. Oopsie. Note.
Your very own handwritten note. Just change the font back to Arial.
All right, good enough?
Mm-hmm. I think it's beautiful.
All right. So what's our plan for next week?
So we still need to do the chapter 8 timeline anecdote and then start the big rewind, I guess.
Oh, the big
As,
rewind.
as we've affectionately named reviewing all the old chapters.
Okay.
So up to you what you want to tackle first, but that's what's on the docket for next week.
Okay. We'll do that. Thanks for your help with my thing here, my project here.
Your diary, happy to help you with your diary anytime.
Yeah, help me write. Can you write some excerpts for now? All right.
Awesome.
Have a good weekend.
All right, you too. I'll see you Tuesday.
Bye.
Bye.